alive for 14 years, and I've been a teenager for roughly 2 of those years. In the grand scheme of things, that's not a lot of time, but even so, it's still plenty of time to learn so much about yourself and do so much growing. People's teenage years are some of the most pivotal moments of their lives. Being a teenager is all about trying new things, meeting new people, and doing plenty of soul-searching and growth. All of which I'm proud to say I have been doing and, plan to continue to do. But throughout the entirety of my life, I've learned and experienced countless things, and these events that I've gone through and the knowledge that I've learned have been integral to who I am, and they strongly define my identity, which is what I'm going to tell you guys about today.
People will want to go to it because you're passionate about it, and people love what other people are passionate about.
I would say that the stuff that I enjoy plays such a fundamental role into who I am as a person. One thing I love doing when I'm very interested in a certain piece of media, aside from adorning the walls of my chamber with merchandise from it, is taking a deep dive into a certain character that catches my eye and seeing the similarities we have. It just feels so resonating. It's like there's part of me in something that's already part of me. Moreover, it's not just the media I consume that contributes to my passions. One hobby that I really like that has been a big part of my life for the past 7 years is probably volleyball. It's honestly a sport that I enjoy and that has opened up so many gates and opportunities for me. Another thing is drawing and illustrating. I've genuinely filled countless journals with, stuff that I'd either consider random doodles or, stuff that I'd consider my magnum opus. But my most, fundamental hobby is writing.
We read and write poetry because we are members of the human race, and the human race is filled with passion.
I have filled countless documents and journals with just words. I've filled them up with poems, narratives, proses, you name it. I honestly think writing is just one of my favorite mediums to express myself, and I'm glad that writing can go hand in hand with illustrating. It can go hand in hand with music. And I feel like it's just been a huge part of my identity for as long as I've been able to comprehend words.
I just think that you are what you love.
Congratulations, class of 2004. We did it!
I honestly think it's really interesting how someone's interests can influence their hobbies, and if they really like that hobby, that can influence their job decision. As aforementioned, we already know about how much I adore writing.
Whereas I've been writing for years, so I'm really not afraid to put myself out there. To be bold, to take risks.
And that connects to this main goal I have of graduating as an English major, either from UT Austin or Rice. Subsequently, I would like to pursue a job in writing. Being able to transfer something I'm so passionate about into a feasible career, it sounds like a dream come true. Furthermore, it's not just works of poetry or fiction that I'd love to write. My family strongly encourages me to go into law, so I can become, 1, a good lawyer, and 2, the first lawyer on both sides of our family. This is honestly something I also feel so passionate about because I've seen injustice and inequality so ubiquitously spread, and I've seen flaws in politics and our legal system. Amending our country and our government is something that I strive to do, whether it be through symbolic poems and fictitious writing or becoming a legitimate attorney or politician.
No matter what anybody tells you, words and ideas can change the world.
Whatever occupation I take up in the future, I want it to be something that strongly reflects who I am, and I feel like both being a writer and being a lawyer will help showcase my values, my creativity, and my stance on certain issues and policies.
I'm always gonna love you.
I'm always gonna love you too.
Something I've struggled with coming to terms with this year but has helped me grow is, this is gonna sound really silly coming from an 8th grader, but you don't need to be in love to be happy. I think this has been like kind of hard for me to like cope with because, you know, I always hear my friends talk about their mans or something, or I see scheduled hugs on my way to algebra. But I've come to realize 2 very important things. 1, I'm 14. I don't need to find the love of my life right now. That is a very idyllic perspective. And 2, I have so many platonic relationships who have helped me grow and build up who I am.
Everybody's falling in love and I'm falling behind.
I value platonic love like 100 times more than I value romantic love. I love my family so much. They raised me. They made me who I am today. They've taught me so many values and principles. But then I think about my friends and I'm like amazed that I met them. And it's kind of crazy to me that I actually chose to surround myself with such amazing, generous, beautiful, awesome people. Everyone I've met has influenced me in some way, whether it be my family who raised me for the past 14 years, people that I've just recently met, or friendships that weren't meant to be. The connections I've made have all influenced who I am and how I act, and they've contributed to my overall personality and identity, and all of my friends have done such incredible things for me. Like, if it weren't for Jolie and Jimena, who would make me laugh every single freaking day? If it weren't for Ben and Jose, who would I complain about everything to? And if it weren't for Jalen and Amy, who would be my favorite person in the most entire world? And, you know, if it weren't for my family, who the heck would raise me? Like, the connections I've made with different people are just, I value them so much. And honestly, personally, I feel like I'll value them more than any romantic relationship. I'm very grateful for that.
That life exists and identity. That the powerful play goes on and you may contribute a verse.
Something that's probably more important to me than my relationship with others is probably my relationship with myself. Truthfully, that's never been the healthiest. I've experienced so much self-loathing and hatred, namely from the ages of 9 to 13. It was so difficult for me to do stuff without thinking, oh my god, why do I look like that? Why am I so ugly? And I am more than grateful that I've gotten past that phase. Last year, my research project was about beauty standards, why they're toxic and how we can fix them. And I guess I sort of took my own advice because I've genuinely grown from seeing myself as ugly and hating who I am. I found recently that I no longer frown when I look into the mirror or try to rub off the color of my skin, and I don't lie about myself to fit into the status quo. Additionally, in this year's cross-genre project, I wrote a narrative about an immortal named Althea who feared she'd been losing her identity over the many years she's been alive. But in the end, she realized that, like everything she's been through, the events and the experiences she's had, those have shaped her identity and who she is today. And like my character, I believe that, like, every single experience I've been through contributes to me and who I am today. Like, from my traumatic and hellish lows to the euphoric and idyllic highs, those have all made me me. And I love who I am today. And I've grown to love who I was, and I'm going to love who I'm going to be. Speaking of my hellish and traumatic lows, I feel like going through quarantine at such a developmental age was something that was very detrimental to who I was growing up. I became so insecure, and I stayed that way for so long. I think I was like one of the last people in school to stop wearing a mask. I cared so much about how others perceived me. But now, I think, like, who the heck cares? Because my family loves me, my friends love me, God loves me, and I love me. And that's all that matters, because at the end of the day, you just need to have pride and confidence in who you are. And I'm leaving this documentary with a message to everyone watching this. You need to be kind to yourself. Because if you're not kind to yourself, who else is going to be? You need to love yourself and you need to care for yourself. Embrace your flaws. Be as funny as you want. Histrionic if you want. If that's part of your personality, just embrace it. The people around you love you, and they're gonna stick around if they're the right people. And God loves you, and I love you.